Yeah, look, thank you everyone for coming. This is very exciting for me personally to be here in Pakistan. It's the first time I've been in Pakistan for a long time, and this opportunity to coach the Pakistan Test side is very exciting. Very much looking forward to it. Mazrul Mohammed has been working with the Shaheens over the last little while at the camp, has done a wonderful job preparing those guys. So I'm really looking forward to meeting those guys soon and go on that trip back to Australia with that Pakistan A side. So very exciting. Looking forward to hearing any number of questions you guys have of me today. So yeah, fire away.
Thank you, Jason. Shahid, first question.
Jason, welcome to Pakistan.
Thank you very much.
What do you make of Pakistan's test team, especially following them in Australia last year where they were thrashed 3-0, and the exciting series coming up with Bangladesh, and especially England who are playing a new style of test cricket?
Yeah, thanks for your question. Yeah, obviously Pakistan lost that series 3-0, but I thought there was some, as an outsider, just observing that as a cricket fan, there were moments in games where Pakistan were on top and were competing hard. I know there were a few moments in that, particularly in that Melbourne Test, where Pakistan were driving those games forward. And I think it's always been said that Pakistan are a talented team, but how can they be more consistent? And I suppose that's one thing that I'm hoping that I can find some solutions for, is the consistency in performance. And I'm looking forward to exploring that with the players and the coaching staff.
Jason, this is your very important assignment with Pakistan cricket team. Are you confident to improve skills and physical fitness level of Pakistan cricket team, especially upcoming series?
Yeah, look, it's a lot of people talk about ways to improve. People mention physical fitness. That's a given. If you're a professional cricketer, if you're an international cricketer, the coaches shouldn't necessarily be, once you've reached national level and playing international cricket, fitness shouldn't really be questioned. You should be fit and robust and strong to represent your country. That's personal pride, that's professional discipline, that's being a professional sportsman. So I fully expect players to be fit and robust and strong, and being able to represent Pakistan.
What brand of cricket do you expect Pakistan to play under your coaching? Are you a fan of baseball sort of cricket? The intentful cricket that which we usually say that we want to go with five run and over, four run over. And also, do you have any discussion with Pakistan's Red Bull captain Sharma recently?
I've spoken a couple of times with Shan, and we've had some really good conversations. So looking forward to meeting him in person, and looking forward to meeting all the players in person. You talk about brand of cricket. I want Pakistan to be authentic to Pakistan cricket and how we can go about that. So that'll be discussions that I'll have, obviously, with the captain, the coaching staff, and the players, because I think we're all on the journey together. So I want us to all have a say in how we're going to play, how we want to be seen by other teams, how we want to be seen by the public, what is the perception, and if there's any perceptions that aren't overly positive, what can we do to change them? So that'll be the discussions that we'll have. But as you mentioned, if you're talking about brand of cricket, I love positive play, but the question is, what does positive play look like? Sometimes positive play can be getting through a tough period of a test match when the opposition are bowling really good spells, or finding a way to minimise the damage when two batsmen in the opposition are playing well. Problem solving, for me, that's in the moment, on the field. For me, that's important part of how you go about playing test cricket.
Yes, but on the left.
Jason, in the past, Pakistan used to rely on talented youngsters instead of proven domestic performers. but they used to struggle in broad conditions like Australia. But this time around, they selected domestic performers and they did quite well in Australia. So, what would be your preference, like selecting talented youngsters in the testing or proven domestic performers?
Look, I think that's a conversation for the selectors to debate. If someone's, I've always said, if someone's good enough, they're old enough. And you know, having said that as well, if someone's performing really strongly and absolutely banging the door down with performances at domestic level, then they'll be in the conversation for selection. But ultimately, selection comes down to what the needs of the team are, again, in the conditions against the opposition, and finding the best balanced side to have an impact in that game. So that's where we'll be selecting the sides based on how can we win that test match or that series, and we'll select accordingly to conditions and opposition.
This is the first time that Pakistan have gone for split coaching with separate coaches
Yep.
for red ball and white ball. So have you had any conversations with Gary Kirsten, or have you had any coordination with him over tactics or anything else?
Yeah, look, I have spoken to Gaz, and we've had a couple of really good conversations. And a lot of it's revolving, I suppose, around, because the international schedule gets so busy, as well as players going and having opportunities to experience different leagues around the world. It's about managing those players as best we can, and particularly the guys who are playing multi-formats. So you've got the test and guys are playing test cricket, one-day cricket and T20 cricket. Gary and I have spoken about how can we best utilise those players so that they're at their very best for Pakistan in all the formats. So that will form a lot of the basis of our communication. But ultimately, from you mentioned tactical point of view, Test cricket's a little bit different to the one days at T20. That's Gary's role to look after the white ball sides, and I'll allow him to do that. If he wants to ask me a question or seek me out for anything, of course I'll share any advice. But ultimately, that's his role, and I respect that. And but you know, I'm really looking forward to working with him, because our job is to work together for the betterment of Pakistan cricket, and that's what we're both energised about. That's what we're excited about.
That needed to be taken to brought by Pakistan, testing on the side, and Pakistan will playing 7 tests in their home condition, and Pakistan have spinning conditions. Abrar Ahmed, if you have worked on it, Abrar Ahmed is the one who looks to be in the playing 11. Who is the other spinner who do you think will gonna make it in the squad? Because later on, Aman was playing, is already 42. So is somebody youngster who's gonna take a chance, or do you have any 2 to 3 spinners do you think will gonna serve Pakistan team in their coming time?
Oh, look, we've got any number of spin bowling options. As selectors, we'll sit down and have a look at all those options, and again, we'll look at conditions. We want, with the conditions in Pakistan, we want an even contest with bat and ball. And if we can have those surfaces there, that'll give us the best chance to play the best cricket we possibly can. So, yeah, as for individual selections, we'll sit down as a selection group and go through that. We've got, you know, some training camps, we've got some games, you know, which we're looking forward to. I'm looking forward to going on this tour with the Shaheens to Australia to have a look at some players that, you know, I'm not overly familiar with, just to see how they go in different conditions against different opposition. And then when it gets closer to the time, those Bangladesh test matches, we'll see what surfaces we're going to be playing on, and we'll pick our squads accordingly.
Badi bhai, you have to look straight into the camera. Right?
Yep.
Single person.
Sorry, no worries.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Badi bhai.
Jason, there is a lot of talk about Babar Azam captaincy, especially T20 cricket and all format. What do you think? What do you think about it?
Look, obviously the white ball team the teams are the white ball teams, and I know there's been a lot of speculation. Look, those decisions. I'm not involved in the selection in white ball cricket. I'm purely focused on the red ball game, and I'm sure those decisions will be made. And I understand. You know, Pakistan didn't have a great World Cup, World T20. I know people are disappointed in that, but you know, I'm sure, you know, Gary has learnt a lot. He's only just gone into that role with the Pakistan side, and he would have learnt a lot from that trip, as would a lot of the players and staff. So decisions will be made, but that's not where I'm at. I'm focusing on the Red Bull side.
Asif bhai.
Jason here.
Yeah.
Jason, the chairman of the board recently said about fitness tests for the players, and we have heard that there is no fitness test for long. How would you emphasize on fitness and how important it is? And second question is, have you had a word with fellow Australians who have coached Pakistan earlier, like Jason, the Todd Tate and the other guy left
Yes.
Hayden?
Jeff Lawson.
Yeah, Jeff Lawson. Yeah, I've spoken to a few guys. I'm friends with Jeff Lawson, Sean Tate, and they spoke with glowing reference to how much they enjoyed coaching here in Pakistan, and that made me very excited as well, which is great. You mentioned fitness. Look, I referenced that with the gentleman that asked me the question earlier. Fitness is fundamental to being a professional sportsman, and as a head coach, once players reach international level, we really shouldn't be talking about fitness. So I fully expect all our players to be robust, fit and strong and fit for purpose to be able to do their jobs for the Pakistan team.
Yes, please.
What are your goals and objectives as the new head coach of Pakistan men's cricket team?
Yeah, I've been asked that a little bit, to be honest, and ultimately we want to win games of Test cricket. There is a World Test Championship, and it's obviously a challenge. It's got to be a goal. There's nothing wrong with reaching for the stars and saying you want to win trophies and you want to win stuff, and that's cool. But we know that there's a process involved in achieving that, and it's going to be a lot of hard work. It's going to be a lot of discipline. It's going to be a lot of patience. But I believe that we've got the players to be able to do it. We just need to go out there and play as consistent a Test cricket as we possibly can, hang in games for as long as possible, and then strike when the moment's right to really drive those games forward. They'll be big on that. So, really looking forward to seeing how the players respond. But, there's obviously, some very skillful cricketers here. How can we play as a team and perform well against good quality international opposition? That's going to be the key for us.
Zubair bhai.
Yeah, right here.
Both left.
Yeah, this is Zubair from Express News. First of all, you are very welcome over here for your new assignment, and I have the best wishes.
Thank you.
Question is, Asif, he just asked about the fitness of players,
Yep.
and I think that no one knows better than you about the fitness issues. So,
Are you talking injuries or fitness?
yeah, all right. So, you just reached in the morning in Karachi, and you know the weather conditions over here. So, what do you think that weather condition will impact on the training camp? Because especially fast bowlers, they have the facing of fitness issues. And second part of my question is, everybody's focusing on the Champions Trophy, especially they are thinking about the Pakistan and India match. So, do you think that our players, they have to focus on the cricket or they have to focus on the India? Thank you.
Not quite sure how to answer that. I mean, you talk about fitness. Look, that's, again, it's a given for me. We'll get, the players will be fit and robust and strong. We know that it's a massive thing for world cricket, massive thing for Pakistan cricket to have the Champions Trophy here in Pakistan, and I'm really excited for the country for that, and I hope we can put on a really good show for the world. As for me, I've just got to control what I can and focus on the Test cricket that we've got coming up. We've got Test series against Bangladesh, against England, against South Africa, and the West Indies. So we've got 9 Test matches, and if we play well in those Test series, we give ourselves a good chance to progress a little bit further in the World Test Championship. So that'll be my focus. As I said, I can't control the expectations of the Pakistan vs India in a Champions Trophy. All I can control is how we can best prepare for Test cricket.
weather conditions. I was talking about.
And the weather conditions, sorry, yeah. And look, that from a fitness point of view, that's all about how we go about training and preparing the players. You don't be silly and train them for hour upon hour upon hour in these conditions. You train smart and you be really specific about what you want to get out of your training session, and that would be something that I'll be putting a lot of energy and focus on. How do we train specifically for what we're going to be doing out in the middle in a test match? So if you can train smart, train hard obviously, but if we can train smart, because we want our players fresh for the test match. There's no point training them and flogging them and then get to a test match they're tired. That doesn't help anyone. So we'll be training really smart, but very specifically in how we can best prepare against each and every opposition.
Lastly,
I hope I've answered your question now.
lastly,
Jason, taking you back to England series, the baseball inspired England team. India showed us how to beat England at home in their conditions. Can we follow the blueprint in Pakistan?
There's no reason why we can't be very proactive. Look, England play their style of cricket. We respect that. That's the way they play. I mentioned it earlier. I want us to play how Pakistan play, and that's going to be with input from the players. Because if the players have a say in how we're going to go about it, there'll be a lot of buy-in, and we can all go together. Which I think is really important. Yes, they're going to be a challenge, no doubt about that, but I think we're certainly up to it. We just need to make sure that we're, again, and the words I've used, we're patient, we're disciplined. England do come out and play a very, very aggressive style of cricket, and that's fine. We're going to play disciplined, smart cricket, and we're going to take games. If it means we take a game to deep into day 5 to get the win, then we'll do that. And we're going to be fit and strong and patient enough to execute those plans. I think people will talk about some fielding. There's a perception that Pakistan at times aren't as strong a fielding side as they can be. I'm a big believer in working hard at fielding to improve that. I don't think Pakistan are anywhere near as bad a fielding side or as people say. I think they're a good fielding side. How can we get it even better? That would be my challenge to the playing group. How can we be just improve a little bit in each little facet of our fielding to get better? And I think it's not just one. I suppose it's not one thing. It's those critical moments in games where you find a way to get through a tough spell from bowlers, or you find a way to make sure you're managing the situation and not letting it get out of hand if you're in the field. For me, those things are really important. How can we make good decisions when challenges crop up in games, and we can problem solve? And I think that's really important. If we can problem solve in Test cricket on the spot, on the go, I think that gives you the best chance to move games forward.
Last question, Shazib.
Jason, you played your last test match against Bangladesh 18 years back and scored that famous double 100 as a night watchman, and now after 18 years you are going to coach an international side against Bangladesh in a test match. So how you are seeing that, and some memories from that innings, because you are the only player who never represented his country again after scoring that double 100.
Yeah, and I'm still a bit grumpy at the selectors for that. No, look, it was just one of those things that happened. I was very fortunate to have the career I had. I'm very grateful, very thankful every day for the 10 years I played Test cricket. Coming up against Bangladesh, yeah, look, my focus will be on how Pakistan can play well against Bangladesh. I'm not going to be dwelling on my last Test match or anything like that as a player. But look, certainly nice memories, no doubt about that. But my focus and energy is on Pakistan and how we can have an impact against Bangladesh, who are a very good cricket team. So we need to make sure that we're playing well, we prepare well, we do our research on the opposition, and identify strategies for us to be able to have an impact against them. So looking forward to that. That'll be my first Test match in charge, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Right. Thank you so much, Jason, and thank you everyone. Thanks so very much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You were very gentle with me.
Thank you.